All right, so let's start recording. So I'm going to show you how to do all this stuff on your calculator. So make sure you have your basic TI-30. So first of all, you need to know what is a range. You could technically do it on here. You don't really have to when there's only 4 of them, but if there's a ton, it'll sort it for you. And let me show you. So in this example, I'm going to go ahead and if you guys remember how to put the data in, let me share the screen. Okay, so what you got to do is press the data button. Let me maximize this. When you go to data, you should see list 1, list 2, list 3. Can you guys see that okay? So just go in there, type in the numbers, enter, etc. So we have 14, enter, 15, 16, 17, 18. Those are the lists, the data points from this example right here. Okay, so just type them in there. Now, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can actually, if you had like, let's say you had like 20 data points, you can tell it to put them in order for you. So you can say, you know what, let me go into stat. Should anyway. Maybe this one doesn't. Let's see. Well, that's okay. We'll do it on paper first before we do that. So let's write these down. You know what? Let's do an example. That way it's a little different. So write these numbers down. This is 9.3, I think. Measures of disbursement. So last time we talked about like means, modes, medians, right? Those are measures of the center. So if you have a bunch of data, like for example, let's say you wrote down every single time you showed up to work or to school, right? And you have all the times written down. So sometimes let's say you got to be there by 8, right, at work or something. And you have a time at 7:50, so you got there at 7:55. Another one you got 8:05, you're a little late. Then there's another time you got there really late, 8:30, 8:02. So you take all these data points, average them together. On average, you should be on time, right? So that would be the center point. That's what they mean by measure of center. Now, the measurement of disbursements means like on average, how far away were you from the center? Because I could go 7 days in a row at 7:30, and then 7 days in a row at 8:30, and average them and be there at 8. So that combination would show me that the disbursement is pretty spread. The data points aren't that close together. That's what disbursement means. So range is just one way to find, or is one measurement of disbursement. That's all that means. So let me write down this example: 47, 48, 49, 50, 51. Range, I'm going to write down the formula, is equal to highest value minus lowest value. I don't really need that anymore. So range is just simply going to be 51 minus 47. So that will be 4. That's it. So the range of this data set is 4. So nothing crazy, right? So the range is the first basic measurement of disbursement. How spread out the data is. Okay. Let's look at another example. Okay. Come in, yeah. So on number, this example 2, they say find the deviation from the mean for each data item. So deviation for each data is you're going to take the entry and then subtract by the mean, which is your average, right? So all you have to do, let's say we put them in order first though. So let's write down those numbers for example 2. It's 33, 55, 77, 132, 198, 297. And they were nice enough to give me the mean, so I don't have to find it. Okay. Part A says, find the deviation for each data item. Part B is find the sum of the deviations. So, okay. We can use a calculator to help us on that second part. All right, so I wrote down the question. So all we gotta do, so we'll call this 1, 2, 3 data point 4. All right, so the first one will be, they said, right? Data item minus the mean. So first one will be 33 minus 132. Second one will be 55 minus 132. 77 minus 132. 132 minus 132. Okay, fifth one, 198 minus 132. 297 minus 132. You write those down real quick before I mix myself up. Okay. 198 minus 132. 297 minus 132. So this is part A right here. So part B says find the sum. So what you could do, I mean, you could just simply add them all up, but you could tell, excuse me, you could tell the calculator to add for you using the lists. Okay. Can I call them whenever I want? the other calculator. I think so. So input -99, -77, -55. Make sure you use the negative button, not the minus button. 0, 6, 6, 1, 6, 5. So once you've entered everything, press second data to do calculations on your list. And pick one variable stats because it's only one variable, in other words, one list. I'm not doing any frequency, so make sure that's set to 1. We did frequency last time though. Once you hit enter, you'll see it has the mean. It has your total value data points, 6, right? Standard deviation for population and sample, and then the sum of all the data values. So there's a sum. It's a little sigma, the C, looks like a backwards E or something. Capital sigma X is sum, so the sum is 0. So we come back here, this should be what they got. Let's see. Yeah, B is 0, and there's the table of values. So whenever you hear deviation, that's what they mean. Subtract each one by the average. That's it. That's different from standard deviation though, which probably comes up next. Here. Yeah, here they ask for standard deviation. Okay, so this the calculator can do for us. Sample 3. Sorry, one moment. Okay. Let's do an example. So find the standard deviation for 23, 24, 25. I'm gonna write that down. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay. All right, so all you got to do, right, go back to pick date, press data, clear L1, that'd be easier. Put every single data value in there. Then go back to second data point, second data button, and it should give it a one variable stats again. Do it on L1, and you should have the answer automatically. See, these two right here are the standard deviations. But which one do they want depends on what kind of data you have. So here they did it the long way. Oops. Mean deviation. What's the answer, dudes? They got 1.58. Okay, so that's going to be the sample standard deviation. So look at your calculator. The SX is the one they're going to want on the homework. Okay. So standard deviation, which we use a symbol lowercase s, would be 1.58. So you could do all that work that they did or just punch it in. I recommend just use your calculator. Avoid it if you can. Okay, 7 is the same thing. Yeah, same type of deal. Okay. Here they want us to look at it visually. Let's see what they say. Oh, it's just it's the same deal. Never mind. You guys know how to read these charts? The stem and leaves. It's the same thing we just did like 3 times, but you have to be able to pull the numbers out of there. You guys comfortable reading this chart? Right? Do you see how the one refers to 13 and 16? That's what the 1, 3, 1, 6, right? 2, 3, that would be 23. The worst comma ever. 2, 6 is 26. And then the 0, 6 would be the number 6. So as long as you can change it into data points, just put it in your machine, calculate standard deviation. That's it. That one's the same. Find the range, sample standard. Okay. Well, that's pretty much it. You guys have any questions on how to find the range or how to find the standard deviation given either a chart, a list of values, or the table? Okay. You guys have any homework questions you're struggling with? You guys doing okay?
I always forget whenever I take my classes, like how helpful